James, I wonder how difficult it's been for you players to look at the group table throughout this and have that zero against the teams. Talk to us about the frustrations of the campaign, if you can.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can see it's certainly been tough for us. A lot of the results have not gone the way we would have liked. But I think we've all kind of learned that we need to take the emotion out of it a little bit and focus on, the aspects of the game that we can do better, what we have done well, and I think that makes it a little easier to deal with when you just focus on the process and not the results. And I think tomorrow night is our last chance to kind of try and prove what we've learned, and a good opportunity for all of us.
There is a danger potentially if the result doesn't go your way tomorrow. You could statistically be the worst team in the Champions League groups across the years. Is that something that sort of spurs you on? You don't want to have that sort of against you as a group?
I mean, a little bit maybe, but I think we're more just focused on the opportunity, and you never know how many Champions League games you'll get to play. You could go on to play 100, or this could be your last one. So I think for all of us, it's more about taking advantage of the opportunity rather than defending against an unfortunate record.
Just finally, personally, I just wondered the motivation from that game against Napoli and how difficult a night that was for you.
Yeah, it was certainly difficult. As a young player, know I'm going to make mistakes. I know I'll have a lot more highs and lows ahead. But as I said before, as long as I have learned from it and learned kind of what the mistake was, then I think that's fine. And just trying to implement what I have learned, and hoping for a positive result tomorrow night.
Yeah, James, you called it a last chance. I just wonder how big a match this is and could be for you and the rest of the group in front of a packed crowd here for the last time in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think we all kind of feel that the fans deserve a little something. They've waited a long time to see us play in Champions League, so I think we're all pretty eager to get a good result for them, and a good result for us. It definitely has been a challenging couple of weeks in this competition, but I think the game on the weekend was a big step forward for this group, and we're kind of hoping just to build on that.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I know the step up from domestic to Champions League is pretty huge.
Yeah.
How much of a difference do you think that could make from the weekend, and what kind of things are you looking to build upon going into tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I think this this past game on the weekend is the best that the team has played in weeks. So even though there is kind of a quality gap between the league and the Champions League, I think the same principles kind of apply, and you'll have less time. It'll be more difficult, but I think you keep trying to do the same things, being positive, being aggressive, and I think that's how you get a good result against the top teams.
James, you talk about building on the weekend's performance. Do you think that a victory or even a point in the Champions League your first this season could spur you on and give you a real good push right up until the World Cup?
Yeah, I think so. The games have really come thick and fast, and it's tough sometimes to kind of think about individual games. But as I said before, I think as long as we keep learning from all these experiences, then it's the best way to get a positive result. And there's nothing that builds momentum like a big win, and I think that's what we had. And we'll aim for another positive result tomorrow night.
James, can I ask how much you enjoyed being back in the team at the weekend? Obviously, since the red card, it was, I think, maybe your first start.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like being out there for the whole 90 minutes and switching positions at half-time?
Yeah, it certainly was a little bit of a tough period there after the red card. I was out of the team for a bit, but I recognize that when you make mistakes, you get dropped from the team, and that's kind of the responsibility you have, playing at a big club like this. But I'm, happy with myself that I've pushed through it and, had a good performance on the weekend. As for playing both positions, it's just what the team needs at the minute. We have a lot of injuries, and, whatever helps the team at this point, I'm willing to do.
Do you feel now, having been here almost a year, that supporters, with performances like the weekend, are starting to see what your best qualities are and what you can bring to this team when you're at your best?
Yeah, I hope so. My game is not built on a lot of flash, so I think sometimes, it's possible I get overlooked. But I think the game against Aberdeen is a good example of the strengths that I do bring, and I've loved my time here so far. So I hope the fans recognize that as well. But I also know you're only as good as your last performance, so I need to play well again tomorrow night.
James, in matches like this tomorrow, when you're up against some of the best players, it's the toughest opposition you can when you're at this football club. If you've got ambitions of playing in the World Cup in November and December, is it matches like this that you feel like you need to prove yourself?
Yeah, I really believe so, because as you said, these are the closest games you'll get to the World Cup games, and I was not called in for the U.S.'s national team camp, and I think it was because of some of the struggles I had, the sending off against Napoli, the Ajax game. So I think it also works the other way around, where I can play myself back into the team with a good performance tomorrow.
And James, just on that, playing against some of the best in the world, what's your learning curve like being at this level, and how much has it inspired you to reach it again?
Yeah, I really have enjoyed the experience. The results have not been good, and no one wants to go through that. But once you take the emotion out of it and focus on what you've learned, I think it's a positive, and I think I'm a much better player for it. It's a lot more fun winning games, winning the games on the weekend, but you don't actually learn that much. It's the games you lose and the games where you're tested where you learn the most. So, as a young player, it's really the best thing that that could happen for me.